So here we have two very special motorcycles in general, especially for Kawasaki, also known as Kawasaki Heavy Industries, which is these logos here and here, which is reserved typically for their top echelon motorcycles. When both of these motorcycles came out, they were groundbreaking. You know, they were the Kawasaki H2s. As this one is a 2016, this one's a 1975. You know, these bikes, they started in 2015 through current, as where this one was 1972 to 1975. This was considered the Widowmaker because it was the fastest thing of its time. It did the quarter mile in 12 seconds flat at well over 120 miles per hour. To think about that, a motorcycle do that in the 70s was pretty unbelievable, but they did not known to have the best chassis, so they were known as the Widowmaker, and that's how they got their name. This one is far from stock. Has dual calipers, a bunch of custom fiberglass tank and such, some JL pipes, all in suspension. It's a full rebuilt bike for my personal collection that I've worked on for many years to get going. And on the other hand, we have this bike here, which is the most technological advanced bike out there. Traction control, wheelie control, launch control, ABS, Brembo, I believe these are M50 calipers. This is the first supercharged motorcycle ever built. So again, that's why this bike was so special. And it's extremely fast, 200 horsepower in stock form. With a few bolt-on parts, we've seen as much as 260, 270 horsepower. And these bikes in that form are capable of, you know, around 260 or 240 miles per hour. This motor on the 75 Kawasaki H2 is very special as well. It's a 3-cylinder, 2-stroke 750cc engine. The sound that comes out of this bike is amazing. The chirp that comes off the supercharger on this bike is amazing. They're just both really groundbreaking bikes for Kawasaki that really put them on the map and kind of take them above all the other Japanese manufacturers as well. This bike almost put some of the British and European companies out of business at the time because there was nothing like it. The new H2, actually, the supercharger had to be designed in-house from Kawasaki because they could not source it out to anybody. It's a twin-stage centrifugal supercharger. Very efficient, doesn't get very hot. This tail section here, this actually allows the rider to stay in the motorcycle at very high speeds. These two side pieces retract and contract, and that's pretty much to hold you into the motorcycle through the acceleration. This motorcycle I've ridden personally, and this bike literally will do a wheelie in every gear, just cracking the gas, just in stock form, let alone when we flash the ECU, put on a correct pipe, and do some of the other little magic that we do to these. You know, they stop well. They accelerate extremely well. Like I said, the supercharged sound that comes out of this bike, it's like a little chirping on deceleration. It's kind of addicting. A lot of fun bike. They are a little heavy. They're about 550, 560 pounds. But they have the power to go along with it. Really just a nice, unbelievable looking motorcycle. There's really nothing bad to say about it. At the end of the day, it's another groundbreaking machine from Kawasaki along with this. So I feel very blessed to have both of these H2s here. They both, the name for the new one came from the older model from 1972. As when this came out, this was a groundbreaking motorcycle. Nothing could touch it speed-wise. It had multiple records, as well as the new H2 has multiple records as the fastest bike on the street as well. So both these models are very important for motorcycle in general, but especially for Kawasaki. It really showed that they raise the bar at the end of the day with models that they come out with what nobody even considered. They also released the H2 and an H2R model in a version that was designed for racetrack purposes only. And those bikes are 350, 360 horsepower. There's not a lot of differences between the two regarding different camshafts, different ECU flashing and such. So this bike is actually capable of those numbers as well. I've seen them up to 380 horsepower, with some modifications in the engine and with bolt-on parts. So that's pretty unbelievable for a production motorcycle to be able to accomplish such speeds and horsepower. We will be doing a comparo driving these bikes both together as the weather warms up here for us in New England. I hope you can appreciate the comparison of these two motorcycles, as they both were very iconic motorcycles in the motorcycle world, and really still are at the end of the day. You'd never see these H2s. This isn't a perfect example of an original one. This is what I wanted to create. So therefore it has some differences. Like I said, as the twin brakes, the Olin suspension, different headlight ears were custom made, fiberglass tank and tail, Olin suspension, JL pipes, which are Jim Lohman pipes, so separate air filters, steering stabilizers, emulators and springs in the forks as well, brace swing arm, and RASC rear sets. This was a ground up build. And this H2 is bone stock, but it will you'll be seeing it in the future with quite a few other upgrades that we will be filming later on. And like I said, again, some road tests. I hope you enjoyed my comparison of the old H2 against the new H2. Thank you for watching. I'm Justin from Adrenaline Cycle.